Everything we discovered in Resident Evil 3 Remake. Action, action, action. In Resident Evil 3, feisty protagonist Jill Valentine has apparently learned the 5 Ds of dodgeball. She's now able to dodge, duck, dip, dive and dodge her way through zombie attacks to keep the overall flow of the game much more fast-paced. While the Resident Evil 2 remake focused on slow build suspense and barely making it from point A to point B alive, Resi 3 was always more about shotguns, survival and seismic hulks of rippling muscle. Kinda like an Arnold Schwarzenegger film when you think about it. So too then is Resident Evil 3 Remake, making the quiet claustrophobia of RE2 feel like nothing more than a precursor to the sheer anarchic rush of Resi 3. We played a work-in-progress build of the game at a press event in London and spent what can only be described as 2 hours in a horde mode, mowing down waves of Raccoon City's undead residents with reckless abandon. Hasta la vista, zombies. Sorry. Environment is key. Have you ever walked around your house with your eyes closed to acclimate yourself to what it'd be like if you suddenly lost your sight? Or if a bunch of mercenaries killed the lights and were coming at you with night vision goggles, and you needed to know where the cheese grater was in a pinch? If not, you're a chump, because you need to be prepared for every household possibility. Similarly, in Resi 3, knowing your surroundings is vital to your continued survival. Did you know that in the original game, you could shoot out street lamps to rain down fiery hot liquid death onto unsuspecting zombies for easy corpse traversal? Well, you can't quite do that in the remake, at least in the area we played, but you can still shoot things like red barrels and electric boxes to zap undead critters, cutting you a relatively clear path to the cutlery drawer. I know what you're thinking, and yes, you can also use this tactic on the gnarly Nemesis. Speaking of which, Nemesis is nothing like Mr. X. The perpetual pectoral piston that is Nemesis works absolutely nothing like Mr. X. By that I mean he is far more terrifying. Whereas Mr. X's movements were fairly predictable after a certain amount of time, Nemesis is like an angry toddler who's just learnt the true power of their own little clumsy body. Similar to a 2-year-old having a tantrum, expect hitting, biting, and the occasional use of a flamethrower. Aside from his lightning-quick agility, Nemesis has a few surprises up his trenchcoat sleeves, so even series veterans will have to think twice before taking down the star's hungry behemoth. Basically, Nemesis is like a Navy SEAL operator, with over 300 confirmed kills. And Mr. X is a jaunty little edgelord who does airsoft in Wigan at the weekends. Don't tell Mr. X I said that. If you down Nemesis, he drops items. If by some minor miracle you do manage to stop Nemesis dead in his tracks, it's possible that you can be rewarded with some useful items like ammo, first aid spray, or his signed copies of the complete Harry Potter saga. Word of caution though, he will not be happy if you lift them from him. In the original game, Nem would drop things like weapon parts and first aid boxes, but we're not sure if he'll be doing the same here, or if it will be more general use items. Let's be honest though, if you do manage to temporarily put him down, you deserve something for your efforts. Maybe a golden wheelbarrow to carry around your massive plums. Different shops play music from other Resi games. In a neat little nod to Capcom's other zombie titles, the various shops that you visit during your time in Raccoon City play music of past Resi games. Eagle-eared fans will be able to hear a variety of Easter egg tracks, including this little ditty that plays in Moon's Donuts. Do you know what that's from? You're right. As if I had to ask. It's the shredding metal music that plays over the credits of the Leon B campaign in the original Resi 2. If we're slipping and sliding into Capcom's musical repertoire, I'd love to hear Dino Crisis' safe room music somewhere in the game. Maybe an alternative Regina costume for Jill. Maybe a full remaster of the original Dino Crisis and Dino Crisis 2. Maybe Capcom need to get on that. Hunter Gammas have been redesigned. What looks like a blobfish has legs like a triple jumper and wants to devour you whole. No, it's not my ex-girlfriend. It's the newly designed Hunter Gammas, and they're not here asking for their Coldplay CDs back. The familiar frog-like hunters were powerhouses that could end your game quicker than you can say Rush of Blood is actually a pretty good album. In fact, you wouldn't even recognize the terrors, having been redesigned from the ground up to have a much more gelatinous, visceral feel to them. Don't let their cuddly new exterior fool you though. The Hunter Gammas are as deadly as ever, and they will one-shot you in a heartbeat and take all your ammo while they're at it, thank you very much. That's it for us on the upcoming Resident Evil 3. Let us know what you're excited for down in the comments, and be sure to stick with GAMINGbible for more awesome content.